What was the question again?
How did you get into teaching?
Right, sorry.
Yeah.
So after I finished my HND, I was like, okay, what now? Because I can't walk into a job as an interior designer. I've got to now do the degree level.
Yeah.
And I should have really, looking back on it, I should have gone straight in to do my degree. But I had an opportunity to join a girl group at that time, and what's his name from De-Influence was the manager, and he's still doing great stuff now. I can't remember his name. He's from De-Influence, and he does a music conference every year.
Kwame.
So Kwame put together this girl group. One of the girls, I think 2 of the members left, and they were looking for 2 new members. I auditioned for it. I got the part. And then I thought that my life was going to be about music. I was going to get signed. I was even looking at cars in magazines thinking, I'm going to buy this car, and it just didn't work out that way, So that's the reason why I didn't move on to my degree.
Right.
And I wish I did, I put all my eggs in one basket.
Why didn't it work out?
One of the other girls fell pregnant.
All right.
Yeah, they just, they were very talented girls, but maybe the record label didn't really believe in it because it was 3 dark-skinned girls, 1 light-skinned girl. At the time, then it was really difficult to market that look, and I don't think the record label really believed in it. They didn't push it enough. They didn't, because we could have just recorded and come out, because we were recording the track in Spanish and stuff like that. So so it's interesting, but it just wasn't meant to be. That's the only thing I can say. Right. So after that didn't happen, my son started reception, so I know that I needed to get a job that can also provide some sort of childcare during half terms. So I thought, what am I going to do when my son's on holiday? Who's going to have him? So I started doing youth work prior to that, so I had a little bit of experience working with young people. I went for an interview as a teaching assistant and got it.
Wow.
That is it, really.
Yeah.
I had a head teacher that saw that I had a really good connection with the kids, saw that I had something different, and he really pushed me to get my mentoring qualifications sorted out. And then he left, and then I was forced to leave because we had a new head teacher. But I think it was a good thing, because through leaving that place, that's where I moved to Brixton.
Right.
Yeah, and I moved to Brixton as a teaching assistant when I first went to Evelyn Grace Academy. And again, it's like I met another amazing head teacher, and I remember one of my friends advised me that when you go to the interview, make sure you look like you're going for a job that's not a teaching assistant role. So go looking sharp.
Dress up,
yeah. I remember I had a short weave cut, and I don't really wear weaves, but I had a short little weave, really, really short weave. I went in a shirt, trousers, heels, So when I walked in, I didn't walk in as a teaching assistant. I walked in like, I want to be deputy head. I want a senior leadership role. And the funny thing is that when I sat down with the principal, what he said to me was, I see a senior position for you. That's what his vision was. And I said, look at that. I walked in with the expectation of, this is what I'm presenting to you. You're getting more than a teaching assistant. And that's how I got into teaching. That's how I got into working in Evelyn Grace Academy. So I was put it down to faith and confidence. So yeah.
Oh, well done. Well done. So there's definitely a message in there, guys. Definitely a message.
Yeah.
So how long was you at Evelyn Grace for?
5 years.
5 years. And how did your roles change?
Oh my God! Do you know what? It's such a crazy thing, because it was a new school. So when I joined there, they were still within their first year. There was a bit of politics. One of the head teachers for the small school just left. That's how only way I can put it. I came into work, and within an hour, we got called into a meeting. She's left. So there was a position for me to move up. So they literally moved me from a teaching assistant to senior learning support assistant. And then within 3 months after that, I was interviewed for a deputy head position and got it. So I literally moved up extremely quickly, considering I had only been in education in primary school prior to that job. So I was and I was headhunted for that job. Because when I saw the advert, I actually went to ARC head office for Globe Academy. They sent me to Brixton.
Serious?
Yeah, I would have gone to Globe.
Wow, we wouldn't even know.
I know. so that's how I'm, ended up at Brixton, and it was great.
So when I met you, I remember just being sort of like, just taken aback by your confidence.
Aww.
Just like, I'm not saying it just because you were just doing this, but seriously, just like, not that I hadn't met any confident people or women, you know what I mean, whatever. But it was just like, like there was sort of like an energy in your class, like safe energy. Do you know what I'm saying? And not all classes are like that. You know what I mean? Some classes the kids know that they're there because they have to be there.
Yeah.
This class, I went in there. I can't remember who it was for. I know it was probably my year group, but I went in there and I just was like, this is nice, man. This is nice, And I just wanted to stand there and just watch. I don't have any excuse to come to your class. Like, oh, hi, miss. I'm here because I need to talk to Johnny. Johnny, come outside.
Oh, gosh.
I take him out, just bring him back in. You know what I mean? But, I just loved your lessons, man. And you always used to leave good cover as well.
Oh, thank you.
That's a really good thing. Because, some teachers used to have cover in their classes. Like, it was some... Read page 54.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But your class is always like, it's gonna be something good, it's gonna be whatever.
Yeah.
And you'll be like, if you ever don't do the work, let me know. And I'll be like, do you know what I mean?
No, follow it up.
So it was good. So what do you feel you learnt from your 5 years at Evelyn Grace Academy?
Evelyn Grace Academy was like boot camp. I'm telling you, there's no university that could have taught me what I learnt at that school. I learned how to be resilient. I learned how to be creative during challenging times. But I also liked the challenge. I liked the fact that I could solve problems. That was me all over. I loved doing that. I learned how important it was to have friends, work colleagues that you can trust. So integrity was really important. And what else did I learn from it? I think a lot of the teachers at that time, because it was a new school, we were all faced in really vulnerable situations, and we had to lean on each other in order to get through the week. Like the pressure of working in that school was so heavy that people who were in married relationships would find it hard to sustain their marriage because of the pressure at work. They find it hard to sustain family dynamics because they're getting home too late. I used to leave that school because my son went there for 1 year. We used to leave together. I used to come home. I used to sit at the table. We used to sit at the table eating dinner, and I sometimes would have my laptop out. That's how invested I was. It was almost like it took over my life. Because when you come in the morning, they want to know how many kids had negatives, how many kids had positives. And the only way you could do that was to work past the 5 o'clock mark. Because our school used to finish at 5 o'clock back then. So we never used to get home till 7. It took over my life. My health deteriorated. I was almost kind of obsessed with the system, But again, having a group of teachers that you can be quite honest with, you soon find that everyone was feeling the same way. Everyone felt that, But having a head teacher, a principal that was approachable, made it a lot easier for that pressure to be released a little bit, So for me, my heart was at Brixton. My heart was there. I mean, I used to dread the day leaving, because I didn't want to deal with the emotional side of it, because that's where my teaching experience started, was at Brixton. I love those kids. They're only kids that I know their first and second name. It's really strange.
It is true.
I've moved on to 2 schools since then, and I still struggle. But if I see one of the kids from Brixton, I'm like, what's his name? And then they will still remember me. Even me, I think that the other day, I don't know all the kids' names. All the kids' names, and it is amazing. And I think I had my first child heartbreak
at
that school. And I say that my heart was broken. One of the children broke my heart. Should I say one of the experiences broke my heart? Jarrell Ellie, one of the students who I had from year 7. And he sadly, his life was taken, and that for me broke my heart. It absolutely broke me, and it made me think, do I want to work in inner city schools again? Because I think when there's trauma, when it's to do with serious youth violence, the teachers are often forgotten about.
Yeah.
Because we're the ones that spend all the time with these
time,
kids.
Yeah.
We've seen them grow.
Yeah.
And then we've got to deal with the trauma. And there's no support for teachers.
Yeah, there's none.
You know?
You don't have the time.
Yeah.
You don't have the time.
But no one's thinking about it.
Yeah.
You know, everyone's, the kids are going through it, but the staff are going through it too. And if you had a good relationship with that kid, you're going to feel it.
Yes.
You know? So I remember when that incident happened, I found out on Facebook, you know. So one of the kids posted RIP, and I was like, what's he talking about? I had to message the student, then message the sister, and then the cousin, then message the mum to find out if it was true.
Yeah.
You know? And I took myself down to the scene where it happened, and I went down to the mum's house, and I went to the funeral.
Yeah.
You know, and I donated some money towards the funeral as well. It was heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Absolutely heartbreaking. I loved that kid so much. You know, and it did make me think. I don't know if it made me kind of force myself not to be so close with kids.
Yeah. Subliminally,
you know?
it happens. Yeah.
Yeah, you kind of protect your heart a little bit.
You're scared because you don't want it to happen again.
Yeah.
It's true. Yeah. I mean, it happened to me in the school before. They didn't die of anything like that, but it was natural causes and they died. But it changed me.
Yeah.
It definitely changed me. Like, I didn't want to be in the school anymore. Like, from then on. And I didn't like the way the school reacted to his death as well. He wasn't a bad kid or nothing. That's the thing about it. But they reacted. I think the family wanted to do something with the school. And the school were a bit more hesitant, like, you know, they want to get involved. And I just said, I don't want to be a part of a school that's got no heart.
Yeah,
like that, you know what I mean?
You know?
So you're right. It's true. There is a lot of to be done for teachers who go through, you know, heartbreak and sadness, especially in the city. And
I think the funny thing is that it was more unexpected because we had kids from year 7 who were more at risk than he was.
Yeah.
You know, that summer break, we were like, oh my God, I don't know if this person's going to make it through summer.
Yeah.
And you know, and it just ends up being the kid that you would least expect it to be. And then we had 2 other kids who I've taught from year 7 again, who went down for murder 2 years ago.
Yeah.
You know, one of them was the sweetest boy ever. I mean, don't get to it. He stole my phone once. I left it on my desk and he took it off my desk. But the dad brought him in the next day with the phone because one of the kids had told my son that who took the phone. So I managed to get it back, but I felt like we missed something. I'd often feel not responsible, but a little bit responsible for some of the life decisions that these kids have made. But for me, it was like, with this particular young person, I was like, maybe he was vulnerable. He was one of the vulnerable kids. But we didn't do anything. There was no services. There was nothing out there back then to bring into the school to try and help support these kids that were on the border. You know? So what happens? They do their GCSEs, they leave, we move on to the next set of kids. And then they go and live their lives.
Exactly.
And then you hear 2 years down the line that they've been in trouble for this, that, you know? But that for me was unusual. I didn't think he was that sort of young person. And when I saw the picture of him in the newspaper, he just looked like a different child. He looked so rough. You know, and he was coming from a good home, you know. But I always say, whoever has the strongest influence wins. You know,
exactly.
because it's not always textbook. You don't always get a kid that's coming from this background that is not going to be successful. There's loads of kids from Evelyn Grace Academy that have gone to university. Some bright kids in that school. You know, 10% of them are the ones that are probably not living the right lifestyles, but the rest of them are doing amazing.
They're pushing themselves.
Even some of the ones that some teachers wrote off, I see them on LinkedIn and they can't wait to tell me what they're doing now. And I'm like, good for you. Good for you. You know, they found their desire.
I had to do a reference for one of my ones. My year group. And she got it as well. She was like, thanks sir.
Oh,
like, man.
Brilliant. It's a good feeling.
Yeah, they're pushing themselves. They're doing their thing, man. And some of them, and it's true, some of them you look at when they were in class, you're thinking, nah. And then now they're just like, you know, entrepreneurs, and they're doing, you know what I mean? And
there's some that were always amazing, so it's no surprise that they're doing really well.
The standard's always high. Yeah,
definitely.
So, alright, so Evelyn Grace is a big time in my life, in your life. So, let's move on from Evelyn Grace, because we left. Sad as it was. Where did you go next? Because you left before me, because I'm letting you know that you left me in it, that's what I'm saying.
Right, I can fast track 3 years very, very quickly.
Okay.
You want me to? Yeah.
Okay, you know you fast track.
So I went to I went to this